Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about how to use postulates, definitions, and theorems we have learned so far. So we are given a figure in this screen, and we want to use a postulate, definition, or theorem based on these statements they provided from 1 to 9 to justify why those statements must be true. So let's take a look at them together. Number 1, it says that the measure of AEB, this angle over here, let's just shade it in red, plus the measure of BEC, let's do that in green, it's equal to the measure of AEC. So we see the red angle and green angle are adjacent to each other, and they're summing up to this blue angle together. So it's adding those two angles in red and green to form the blue angle. And anything about all those addition ideas that we've learned so far, we've had segment addition postulate, angle addition postulate, and the addition property. The one that makes most sense is the angle addition postulate, because we are combining two adjacent angles to form a larger angle. So we're going to write that down. Angle addition postulate, actually. Okay, coming from the figure here. And all of these are being related to the same figure. So let's take a look at the next part. I'll clear the colors so we can mark it up more later. Number 2, it says that AE, this segment, plus EF, this segment, is AF, this whole segment. Again, it's using adding in this equation. And what are we adding? Well, we're adding the length of two small segments that are actually collinear, and the point E is between A and F to form the whole length of the segment AF. So again, we're using addition. We have the segment addition postulate this time. We're adding two segments, and the 3 points that are involved in this equation are all collinear, where one of the points E is between the other two. This is involving the segment addition postulate for that reason. All right, great. So let's put the next one. In part C, or I mean number 3, they said the measure of AEB, which is this angle in purple, plus BEF, which is this angle in red, is equal to 180 degrees. So when you have two angles that add up to 180 degrees, the best reason for that is we've learned is a definition. What do we define as two angles that add up to 180 degrees? This is the definition of supplementary angles, right? And for the other ones, I might need more space below. So I'll start writing some of them on the bottom after number 3. Okay, so let's do number 4 over here in the bottom. It says if E is the midpoint of segment AF, then AE is congruent to EF. Let's mark that down. So AE is congruent to EF. Based on what we learned, what do we focus on to say that we have two congruent segments when E is the midpoint of a segment here, AF? Well, based on what we learned recently, this is a definition. This is the definition of a midpoint. Okay, the next one is number 5. E is still the midpoint of AF, so I'll leave the markings there. But this time we're focused on AE, this part, being 1/2 of AF. So one segment is half of another segment, and this one actually is the theorem, right? The midpoint theorem. Because it focuses on the halves. All right. So, and it has the keyword midpoint. So that's how you can sort of tell which one it is. Focuses on different things though for 4 and 5. Now number 6 is interesting. Let's do one more. So 6 says E is also the midpoint of AF. Then it focuses on a ray EC. Let's circle that in a color, green. Ray EC bisects segment AF. So let's trace EC here. This ray is bisecting a segment AF. Let's get rid of these. So let's do that in blue. AF is being bisected by EC, and it kind of has this midpoint over here. This is a little bit different from 4 and 5. So when we have a ray and it's bisecting a segment, the conclusion is what we're kind of focusing on for 4, 5, and 6. So if you think back, where do we have something that we've learned that said something bisects a segment, right? So this is actually a definition. The definition of a segment bisector, if you recall, states that you could have a segment, line, ray, or plane be objects that bisect segments. So actually number 6 is the definition of a segment bisector. And let's continue. All right, so we're doing pretty good so far. Number 7 is if segment EB bisects AF. So again, we're using a segment here. Let's actually clear the diagram so we can see what's happening. Okay, so EB will do in red and draw it on the figure. It's bisecting a segment. Let's do that in blue. So this segment at the bottom is getting bisected like this to make E the midpoint of AF. So it still has something of a bisecting a segment. And it also has the word midpoint up here. So midpoint actually has appeared in the last 3 sentences we just did. So what would we use? Would we use the reason that we did for 4 or for 5 or for 6? You always want to focus on the keywords. Yes, they all involve midpoint somehow, but we always want to look at both parts of the sentence. So it says if ray EB bisects segment AF, right? So this is actually, again, the definition of a segment bisector. So when you recall, the definition of a bisector says if you have a line, segment, ray, or plane that bisects a segment, it forms a midpoint on that segment. So that's one of the results, and it could be stated kind of differently. Like you see in 6 and 7, like a variation in how they wrote it, but you still are using the definition of a segment bisector to justify those 2 sentences for 6 and 7. Right, we're almost getting close to the end. Let's try number 8. And let's clear the diagram to see what's happening in that one too. All right. So number 8. Number 8 says ray EB, this ray again, a bisector of AEC. Let's do that. AEC in blue. And we said the EB, the ray in the beginning 8 was in red. We then know that the measure of AEB, so AEB, sorry, my B is a little hidden over here in the red. Let's clean up over here. AEB is equal to 1/2 the measure of AEC. So this angle, AEB, let's do that in green, is half of the blue angle, AEC, that is drawn. And so we're talking about something with bisection. Look at the key words again. They're focusing on the bisector of something. What is it bisecting? This angle. So it has to deal with an angle bisector. So we've learned 2 ideas, the definition of an angle bisector and the angle bisector theorem. Which one is it? Repeat the result. This one focuses on it being 1/2 of the original angle. So we are using the angle bisector theorem. All right. So that's how we get it. And then we have one more to go. Let's clean up the diagram again, and we'll do one last one. Okay. So let's mark it up in blue. It says if BEC, this angle here, is congruent to CEF, this angle we're going to mark here. You could also use dots if you prefer. So you could have also said if this angle of a dot is congruent to this angle of a dot. So just maybe, either use arcs that are kind of like what I drew here or just single dots, up to you. I'll do both since I just drew it. If those angles are congruent, then it implies the result is that EC is the bisector. Oh, there's a ray here that's hidden by my writing. Ray EC is the bisector of BEF. So let's circle that ray EC in green and draw it in green on a figure. So this ray is cutting BEF, that angle. And so again, it's keywords. Look at that word bisector of, there's an angle symbol of angle BEF. Again, we'll focus on angle bisector. Are we using the definition of an angle bisector, or are we using the angle bisector theorem? If you look back at the beginning of the sentence, it focuses here on two congruent angles. If you look at the picture, the ones that we marked in with the blue dots, similarly, we could say the blue arcs, those are the two congruent adjacent angles, right? So this is actually focused on the definition of an angle bisector. It's the theorem. It doesn't have the 1/2 in it. So we just went over 1 to 9. Hopefully you have an idea of how to now apply definitions, postulates, and theorems that you've learned. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next time.